Welcome to the playoff version. Hey, Chris, how are you? We're doing the playoffs right now of the Chop and Birds Weekly NFL Podcast. One of your co-hosts, Pork Chop, with
Big Bird.
There we go. Chris he's what do they call it, in a remote location?
We are doing work from home.
Yeah, we're doing the COVID edition. So a couple things that we did last year, we decided to bring out the COVID protocol because we had to resort to that a couple times last year. And Chris had free time, but he could not be here, so we decided to do this for you guys.
I have no car.
No car. I almost didn't have one. I had to go get a tire replaced today. Been driving on a flat tire since like Christmas, so I was like, yeah, I probably need to go get that fixed.
That's a good idea.
I was like, yeah, I only drive it from home to work to work to home. That's no big deal. But anyway, so Chris had to update it, but we can officially pick in the playoffs of the app. So before we get started with that, let's go ahead and update them on the playoff stats.
Let's just not.
No, you don't want to.
I guess I will. But in third place is yours truly with 161 points, and then Mr. Chops picks with 164 in second, and then Mike. Goddamn you, Mike. He won the regular season with 165 points. That's son of a bitch.
Well, good for him. If he wins through the playoffs, I'll send him a trophy. Whoever was going to win this, I was going to send a trophy regardless. So,
Yes.
I got to give Tanner one this weekend because we're watching the game at his place. Are you going? You going to that game? You going? Sean Lee playing?
I plan on it.
All right, good. I'll give Tanner his trophy because he beat me because my team decided to take a bye week 2 weeks in a row. So that was fantastic.
I mean, honestly, a lot of teams sucked in the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Next year in that league,
even you versus me in week 15 and 16, we scored 100 points.
Yeah. Yeah, because we
were not good.
Everybody's like, whatever, it's fine. I'll just rest for the playoffs. But yeah, next year I probably need to get that to where it's like week 14, 15 is when the championship is. I couldn't figure out how to do it this year, otherwise I would have. But
next year.
Next year. It's always next year. Next time, baby. Next time. The roadie protocol for Iron Man. But anyway, so yeah, Michael, congratulations. If you went through the playoffs, if you beat us, then I'll get you a trophy. But remember, I'm right behind you, swiggity swooty, coming for that booty. So
that's true.
All right. So, Chris, what's the biggest topic that happened this week? I know that Monday was Black Monday. So, anybody get fired that's of note?
Let's see. A few people got fired, and some of them made sense, and some of them didn't.
Yeah, there was a couple of head scratchers, but some of them
We're
I'm
going
like.
to start from most recent to. We're going to start with the newest ones first.
Newest one first.
As of yesterday, I believe, maybe it was 2 days ago, but Joe Judge for the Giants was fired.
See, I had heard murmurs that if he didn't do so hot this year, that he was going to go, and then that they obviously were going to bring a new coach in. So this also might be the end of Daniel Jones for the New York Giants. I've heard.
I've heard they'll be interested in going after Russell Wilson.
Oh fuck! I don't want to play him twice a year.
Apparently, he wants to be in a bigger market. Apparently.
Well, New York is definitely a bigger market. The LA teams, I don't know if Matthew Stafford might be one major injury away from ending his career. So.
Well, that's true.
Sure. And then obviously they have Herbert and with the Chargers, so that's not going to work.
Yeah, so they're fine there.
Maybe he can go with Houston. Houston's got a big market.
Fuck Houston.
I mean, that's what I say, but I mean, I say that on a daily basis. But
yeah, so Judge Judy.
Judge Judy. that's Judge Judy's brother, Joe.
Joe Judge had a record of 10-23 with 0 playoff appearances.
God bless him. Yeah, that's. Jesus Christ! I think in some countries, if you have that as like a soccer record or a football record, then I think they burn you at the stakes like a witch.
They hang you by your toenails.
Hang you by your toenails and then slap you with bamboo sticks. I think that's how they do that in like Saigon or something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, sounds about right.
All right.
Next one.
This one's the bullshit one, which no one fucking understands. That's Brian Flores. for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was kind of scratching my head at that one too, but I have a friend of mine that's a big Dolphins fan, and apparently he heard through the grapevine that all he did was divide the locker room, and he didn't stand up for his guys. That's the biggest thing that I heard. I don't know if it's true or not. You just got to take that at face value. But
the guy let you do 2 winning seasons.
Yeah, I mean, for that 7-game run by itself, I'd be like, all right, this dude's worth keeping.
Hey, I mean, they finished the game winning 8 of 9 games. Finish off the season by beating the Patriots. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, it's like, hey, congratulations. Because didn't they sweep the Patriots this year? So, I mean, I know that the Dolphins sometimes, or most of the time, have the Patriots number. It seems because of that Miami Miracle a few years ago. That was awesome to watch, actually.
That was with Tannehill, too.
Yeah, it was with Tannehill, with the fighting Texas Aggie. And then Gronkowski forgetting how to tackle.
Yeah. He is a tight end. And to answer your question, yes, they beat they won the very first game of the year, beating the Patriots.
Okay, so you beat the Patriots. Okay, what was the record against the Bills then?
Let's see. They lost to the Bills both times.
Okay, so I guess like if the New England Patriots won that division, I think he would still have a job. But since they didn't, and both games they lost to the Bills, I guess that was one of the deciding factors.
They were outscored in those 2 games, 61 to 11.
Well, that's the freaking. I mean, Josh Allen's a freak of nature, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Poor Miami.
But yeah, that sucks. I mean, I'm sure he'll find another job somewhere else.
Oh, he'll absolutely find it.
Might be one of the teams that obviously let somebody go. So we'll see what happens. They do like a little shuffle.
Next one was Vic Fangio for the Denver Broncos.
See, that one I was kind of like, but I mean, when you have no quarterback to work with, I mean, it's kind of hard to put a guy like on the chopping block.
Yeah, but he was there for 3 years.
Yeah, so 3 years to have a decent quarterback, and they thought they had something with Drew Lock, and then of course Teddy B came in and became a human crash test dummy.
Okay, I saw that. That's another potential landing place for Russell to go to Denver.
Yeah, Denver if they don't get Aaron Rodgers, because apparently
that's true too.
Apparently Denver has been calling his name for the whole year. So that's a big possibility of him going to Denver. I actually wouldn't kind of mind that. It'd be kind of like a Peyton Manning 2.0. Maybe he can get one more Super Bowl. It'd be kind of cool to see. But that's not for me to determine.
That's not for me to determine. All right. Let's see. Next one. Yeah, he had a record of 19 and 30.
See, I thought it was better than that. So, yeah, I guess it's understandable.
And then Mike Zimmer was fired.
Not a surprise at all. I mean, Minnesota was projected to win the division last year, and then we saw how that happened. I mean, we both picked Minnesota last year to win the division.
Minnesota has underproduced very much.
Minnesota is good at being just okay.
I mean, if you look at his record, he's technically 72, 56, and 1.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll land on his feet if he doesn't retire. I know he's one of the older coaching options out there, but I mean, I would hire him over Marvin Lewis, which apparently a lot of people are murmuring for.
A lot of people. I guess the Leslie Frazier is getting a lot of interviews too.
Which Leslie Frazier, that's one of the big names right now. So
let's see. So yeah, I mean, you have Justin Jefferson and Thielen and Dalvin Cook, and you still can't do shit.
Yeah, but he's got Kirk Cousins at quarterback, which is, I mean,
Kirk Cousins is like Tannehill. He's good enough.
I mean, he's good enough. I mean, you got to put the right pieces around him, and obviously he doesn't do well with because he has the pieces. He has top 5 running back and a top 3 wide receiver, and he can't do shit. So that, I mean, maybe they needed to fire Cousins before they fired Zimmer. But I mean, yeah, Zimmer's had plenty of time to do what he needed to do, and I don't think they won the division one time. So,
well, next up, this one is no shock to anybody, and that's Matt Nagy.
Gasp
for the Bears.
The Bears, yeah, the Bears were talking. They want to talk to Quinn and Moore, and I'm like, I think they both told them to fly a kite. Well, I know Quinn did, but I don't know about Moore. But I mean, that might be a good landing spot for Kellen Moore if he decides to go. because he does have Justin Fields, which is potentially a top 10 quarterback in the making. But
Maybe.
I mean that would be very enticing if I interviewed for that head coaching job. Like, I might have like a Deshaun Watson minus the masturbation accusations.
So, let's see. It looks like there's been some connections for Kellen to Denver.
That too, but it's okay. If I were Kellen Moore, I would definitely go if they got Rodgers. If they didn't get Rodgers, I'd be like, maybe next time.
Maybe next time.
Yeah, maybe next time.
That looks to be the end of the fired coaches.
Yeah, which I mean, it's about like 3 to 4 every year, and this one had what, 5? We had 5 coaches fired this year.
Well, if you include, we'll
include Mr. Lapdance. We'll include him.
Yeah, we include Mr. Myers and then Chucky.
Oh, and Chucky too. Yeah, so that makes it what, half dozen? How many?
Yeah, I mean,
7?
2, 3, 4, 6.
6. So half the. Oh, I was right the first time. I should have kept that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. I think we're just gonna talk about that instead of a panic. Don't panic because it's the first round of the playoffs. So we really don't know what we're getting.
I mean, good for the Steelers.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus Christ! If you wanted to fuck them over so bad, you would have tied. And it's crazy that oh my gosh, that game was intense. That Sunday night game was amazing, for multiple reasons. Just regardless, do you go for the tie there because both teams will make the playoffs if you go for the tie?
I just don't understand the reasoning of the timeout.
I don't either. I honestly was scratching my head. I thought they're going to tie this.
Like, you see, as soon as they take the timeout, you see Derek Carr go back to the coach, and he, like, waves his arm up. He's like, and it looks like he says, fuck it.
He probably did.
And so he's like, well, fuck it. We'll just. I think they were probably just going to knee it, and then they called the timeout to be weird, and they're like, Derek Carr's like, fuck it, let's just go win it.
Yeah, for sure. Which, I mean, I totally get that. Especially Carlson apparently has been the savior for Pittsburgh before. So, because he's from the area. So they love them some Carlson, the kicker for the Raiders. So they're like, once again, Carlson or whatever Carlson, can't remember his name. They're like, once again, he's the saving grace for the Pittsburgh nation or whatever. I thought that was funny, but yeah, I think even at one point, I think I was reading Justin Herbert's lips during the beginning of overtime, and he said, I think he said, I've never wanted a tie so bad.
That's funny.
Well, your coach said nay, so
yeah, it was on the table, and then you know what, the coach was like, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to do overtime, they should have kept it in their own hands because they started overtime with the ball. So they honestly could have just held on to it for 8 minutes if they wanted to. But I mean, the Raiders defense was kind of having his number all day, especially that number 98, I think is his number. But anyway, all right. So I guess we'll just go straight to the Titan talk because both of our teams made the playoffs this year, which is nutso bananas. So I'll let Chris have the floor here to talk about his Tennessee Titans, who have a very difficult opponent this week.
Yeah, we do. We gotta really watch the game film for this one.
Oh yeah, dude.
I hear those the palm trees out in California are real tough.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
Or maybe the beaches down in Miami, like the Giants did a few years back.
Oh, maybe. But, I mean, it's really weird because I think this is a brand new team. Like, you have the initials for the Cowboys as DAL, and y'all are TEN. I don't know the team BYE. Do you know who that is? But anyway, I think the Titans have a good chance this week.
They have a bye.
Bye. Yeah, they got the NSYNC special, which good for them. They deserve it. Y'all almost ran the tables, or did y'all run the table since Henry went out? I mean, y'all lost a couple of games, right?
We were 6-2 when he went out, and we were 6-3 without him.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, you guys almost ran the tables. That's almost that 9-game stretch. That's a very impressive stretch.
I mean,
did he play it?
As ironically, in that 9-game stretch, we had a loss to the Texans and we have a loss to Pittsburgh. So,
I mean, yeah, one of those teams made the playoffs, so I guess you shouldn't hang your head too low.
that's true.
The other team is doesn't know who their quarterback is. But did y'all play Henry at all last week?
Nope, he has yet to be activated to the active roster.
No, well, I mean that's kind of a smart move because you guys are letting him rest for another week since y'all have the bye week. So I guess it's actually pretty good for y'all.
His injury was supposed to be. They said he should not come back before 9 weeks. If you come back with this injury specifically, if you come back before 9 weeks, you have high chance of re-injuring it or not being able to move as well. Right. He's gonna come back. He's gonna come back after 13 weeks because of all this.
Oh yeah. I mean, that'll give him plenty of time, especially. I mean,
the only issue he's gonna have is rust, but I don't think he's gonna have much. I don't think he's gonna have a hard time breaking out rust since he's gonna have 3 weeks of practice. So.
I mean, yeah, and then the practice will definitely help him out, and then I don't know, man. If I were him, just sitting on my couch, I'd just keep practicing that stiff arm, because.
Oh, he was out there lifting garbage trucks. He was curling garbage trucks so he could make sure he stiff arm people.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, especially considering some of the players that he has to go up against are also garbage, so that's very fitting. I said what I said.
Yeah, those Colts though.
Yeah, those. Wow.
That's a whole other topic.
Couldn't even win a fixed game.
I'm glad I am not answered.
Oh, yeah, because I was like, oh, man, 2 teams from that division are going to make the playoffs. That's pretty cool. And then I kept looking at the score, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with the Colts?
See, I was following. It was 10-3 Jags. I'm like, okay. And then at halftime it was 17-3. I'm like, okay. And it's 20. It's 20-3. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it just got worse from there. That was crazy. I was like, come on. You win and you're in. Come on.
And then the freaking Colts, man, they had a 92% chance to make the playoffs, and it all went away real quick.
Man, those are Powerball numbers, man. I would have taken those odds.
Colts.
To not make the playoffs.
I find it hilarious. So.
Yeah, to not make the playoffs. If you bet on them not to make the playoffs, man, whew, I bet you made some money because you can do that shit with Bet Online and stuff like that. You can bet on stuff like that. So, yeah, you can bet. I think there was actually a bet going on. It was a 2 to 1 odds of Nagy getting fired. So, if you bet on him to get fired, you actually probably could have made a little bit of money. And if you had Joe Judge, man, you probably made a hell of a lot more money because nobody. I mean, I kind of saw it coming, but I mean, whatever. But so. Yeah, the Titans, congratulations. You got that bye week. Yep. That's badass.
Yep. We had our first sighting of Julio Jones this week with his 6 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown.
That sounds good.
So they're last week they had 21 of their 22 projected starters on the field and that's the most they've had since week 1.
Yeah, wow.
And so for the first playoff game, they're projected to have all 22 starters healthy, which is amazing for us.
Yeah, I mean that was my next question. I was going to ask you was, so are y'all healthy fully, or do y'all still have some players out?
No, we should be minus some few non-important players. But as far as starters go, we should have all of our starters out there.
That's badass. I mean, especially if you guys are planning on making a run. So who would your next opponent be next week? Between who?
It would either be. We would play the lowest remaining seed, so it would either be Cincy, New England, who else is in there? Las Vegas or Pittsburgh.
I mean,
so I'm hoping for Pittsburgh to beat KC somehow, and that way we get Pittsburgh.
That would be actually kind of cool for Pittsburgh to do it. I know this is Big Ben's last year, and I know he's very controversial, and I've been on the fence about him for ever. I straight up didn't like the guy for the longest time, but now you kind of have to respect what he's going through and what he's done and everything like that. So
have you seen his interview today?
No.
Oh my god, that's so funny. He's like, so Big Ben, what do you think about the playoffs? He's like, well, we're not supposed to be here.
No.
Of the 14 teams, we're probably number 14. So we're like a 12-point underdog in a playoff game. So
There you go. House money.
We're gonna win, but we're gonna go out there and have some fun.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm like, well, fair enough.
Good for you. Well, all right. So, I mean, hopefully it's one of the lower seeds, but we'll talk about those picks when we get to them here in a minute. I got a feeling that you guys might be facing off against. Well, anyway, we'll get to that here in a bit.
Yes.
Here in a bit after my talk about the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, let's hear about the Cowgirls.
Well, the Cowboys slid into the third seed thanks to San Francisco laying an egg, or Los Angeles laying an egg. That was nice.
You got lucky on that one.
Yep, so instead of playing Arizona, which we were projected to play for the last, month, we get to the playoffs and all that good stuff, and then we're just going to turn right around and play Arizona, a couple of weeks after they did what they did to us.
Yes.
But so I think we honestly lucked out because I much rather would face San Francisco than Arizona, who we were projected to face for the last few weeks, like I said.
Yeah, I mean, San Francisco is still not a walk in the park.
Oh, no. San Francisco said that they play a thing called bully ball.
Uh-huh.
And Micah Parsons' response was pretty much, I'm from the hood, and I come from a place where we bullied the bullies. So he says he's not scared.
Oh my! All these NFL players come from the hood.
So it's just it's crazy because I mean,
swear people.
What a difference a year makes, man. We were one game away from going to the playoffs with a losing record, and then that unfortunately unraveled because of that tank job from the Philadelphia Eagles was one of the components of that. But that's how Doug Peterson lost his job. He lost his job because of that game. But clinching the division with just a few weeks left to go in the season, we didn't clinch it at the last minute like we're known to do. So that was nice for a change, that we actually had some stress-free football for the last few weeks of the season. And I'm actually looking forward to the playoffs, that's for sure. Because, I mean, this is a team that, when they're hot, they're one of the most dangerous teams that you can get. When they're healthy, which it looks like we're getting a lot of players back, we just reactivated a couple players off of the COVID protocol.
Just no Michael Gallup.
No Michael Gallup, which sucks. So a lot of people are yammering we need to go get AB. I'm like, why? So we can have a half day in the fucking first round of the playoffs? No, thank you. I'm good. That's fine. Freaking Wilson, our fourth-string wide receiver, has kind of turned into our first-string wide receiver. Dak throws to him more than anybody as of late. So as long as Wilson's out there, number one is on the field, then I like our chances. Because a lot of people try to double cover Lamb or try to double cover Amari, and then it's oh, look, there's Wilson wide open down the middle for a 50-yard touchdown. So that's always fun. I got a good feeling about this week, but I'll talk to you about it next week. See how I'm feeling next week.
It's starting to come together, Pepper.
It's all starting to come together. Yeah, we got uniforms and everything. So glad we're in the playoffs, that's for sure. So how about them Cowboys?
And the Cowboys play the Titans. The Cowboys play the Titans next year.
Yeah, I saw that. That's cool. Is it going to be in Dallas or is it going to be in Tennessee?
It's in Nashville.
That would have been so cool. We could have made a trip to Dallas to watch our teams play.
Well, shoot, whenever the schedule comes out, we got to start looking at flights to Nashville.
Yeah, I'll get right on that with my. Let me check my Swiss bank account to see if I have any. See if I have a few $1 million just laying around.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Try to buy Guatemala. That didn't work out. So.
Oh.
Anyway, all right, Chris. So for the first time during the playoffs, I'm going to ask you this burning question. It's a question I love asking you every single week, and that is, boxers or briefs?
How about boxer briefs?
Good call. Hybrid.
I need security, but also the breathability.
I get you. So speaking of breathability, let's see if some of these teams will have a little breathing room and actually make it to the next round. My next question I was going to ask you is, who you got?
Let's see here. We got the on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. That looks to be Pacific time, maybe. I don't know what the fuck it is.
3:30. We're 2 hours difference.
Okay, my computer's all weird.
It's a Pacific time. Well, because it came from California, right? So I guess it's Pacific time.
That's true. We got the Las Vegas Raiders at Cincinnati Bengals.
Man, the Raiders. Cincinnati, man, we picked Baltimore, both of us, to win the division, and Cincinnati just came out of nowhere with a haymaker.
Yeah,
so
Baltimore finished last, so that shows how much we know.
Yeah, I mean, any given Sunday, right? So, I mean, we're the best there is. Just a great American Harry winning machine or whatever. But I'm going to pick the Bengals. The Raiders did have a very awesome Cinderella story to get into the playoffs. You know, their season has been in turmoil ever since they fired Chucky. But
oh, dude, the 30 for 30 that's going to come out in like 10 years about this team. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's like, what if I told you that after firing their controversial head coach, this team still made the playoffs?
And lost their, best receiver because he killed someone.
Oh, yeah, it killed a woman and her dog.
Rest in peace, doggos.
Yeah, rest in peace to the people and rest in pease to the doggos. And they got rid of one of their best defensive players because he was talking shit.
They lost their 2 first-round picks from last year.
Which is fantastic. That's a good profit margin. That's how you do that. That's how you roll.
I'm gonna keep betting with stick with the car. I'll think the car is broken.
No.
Go with Las Vegas.
Well, you're gonna go with the car over the burro.
Yep.
The wheelbarrow.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's okay. I'm gonna go with the burro. So there you go.
All right. Here we go. AFC East rematch.
Uh-huh.
New England at Buffalo.
Yep, this is the last game for Saturday. I'm going to go with Buffalo and keep one of my Super Bowl predictions alive, hopefully, with the Cowboys-Buffalo Super Bowl. So,
what was our last Super Bowl pick?
Okay, let me double-check that real quick. Your last pick was New England versus Tampa Bay. Mine was Green Bay versus New England.
Okay.
So we still have a chance.
What's your prediction right now going into the playoffs?
I'd probably still say Green Bay is going to get there.
Okay.
For the NFC. For the AFC, in all honesty, probably... Damn. I don't know, it's probably going to be the Chiefs.
Yeah. I'm 0 in Green Bay and the Chiefs.
Green Bay and KC.
My official prediction is going to be a rematch. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Chiefs.
I mean, I would actually watch. I would watch the hell out of that. I mean, I'm gonna enjoy the Super Bowl regardless. But yeah, but one of my earlier Super Bowl predictions was an old school '90s matchup. Super Bowl.
Buffalo and the Cowboys.
Buffalo and Dallas, which we beat them 2 years in a row, which was awesome. But yeah, go Buffs this week.
Yeah, I also got the Buffs over New England. I think New England's they're happy to be back in the playoffs, but they're not going to win.
It's just an honor to be here. It's just an honor to be nominated.
Nominated?
It's an honor.
All right. Speaking of Tampa Bay at Philly. Or Philly at Tampa Bay.
Oh, my God. Philly. So, according to the Yahoo app, Philly has the worst percentage rate of all the playoff teams, including Pittsburgh, at a 4.8% of the nation picking them versus 95.2% of the Bucks. I am part of the 95%.
Yeah, I'm part of the 95% as well.
Yeah, which is crazy because Pittsburgh, like you said, Ben Roethlisberger earlier said, we're the 14th of the 14th. If there's, that was the thing. But they have better odds to beat the Chiefs than the Eagles do to beat the Bucks. It's kind of funny.
Oh my. Yeah, no, they're not going to beat Tampa Bay. I'm sorry.
No. If they do, it'll be a miracle. But
I'll be impressed if they do.
If they do, that'd be kind of cool, especially if the Cowboys can find a way to eke it out against the Niners. And then we could beat the team for a third time this year because we're undefeated in the NFC East this year. We swept everybody. But anyway.
Well, you're playing children.
We are. We are. When we play Mississippi the Blind and
I saw your post like after the last game, like dropping a 50 burger on. I was like, "But y'all playing a practice squad."
yeah, but it's still impressive that we've scored like 40 plus points like 2 of the last 3 games we played. It was nice.
But y'all did what y'all were supposed to do against a bad Philly team.
Which is good. I'll take it.
So,
Yes.
alrighty.
Speaking of Cowboys,
Yeah, we got the Niners and the Cowboys.
I mean,
This is the closest game of the weekend.
yeah, which I mean, it's totally understandable because San Francisco's a good team. The Cowboys are a good team. You know, good teams playing a good team. Who would have thought that that was a good playoff matchup?
Who would have thunk it?
Who would have thunk it? And it's funny though because I predicted a week earlier when they announced the time slots and stuff. I said, I bet you we're gonna get the 3:30 slot on Sunday. I told my wife that, and then during the second half of the Raiders game, they announced that the Cowboys would play the Niners at 3:30. I said, "What I fucking tell you?" But I'm gonna go with the home team. Gonna go with the Cowboys. This is gonna be a hell of a game. I'm very excited.
So you'll be back in time for this. So
Yes, I will be.
I'm gonna go with the Niners.
Well, I mean, again, 2 fantastic teams. I don't blame you.
I can't trust y'all's offense yet.
No.
I have to go with the Niners. I know y'all put up 50 points, but again, your offense is so confusing to me.
Oh yeah. I mean, we got at least one bonehead call a week, at least.
Not to say I can trust San Francisco by any means.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna come out whose defense is better.
I'm just going. I'll go with San Francisco just so we have something different.
Oh, there you go. Instead of just sweeping, yeah, for the lulz. Yeah, I got you.
And then next game, this is not a toss-up. Kansas City at Pittsburgh. I'm just happy to be in there.
Yeah, we're just, they again, like I said earlier, playing with house money, but unfortunately, they're gonna have to leave a coin for the ferryman. I'm gonna pick the Chiefs
I'm also taking the Chiefs
because reasons.
because of reasons.
Yeah.
Alright, last game on Sunday night or Monday night. My bad, Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
First ever Monday night playoff game.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. That's crazy.
We have Arizona at the Rams.
Well,
Third time this year.
for the third time, what was the record before they split?
Let's see. Rams schedule.
Rams schedule.
Let's see here. Nope, not this week. Okay, so the Rams won back in December.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cardinals won back in October.
Well, back in October, the Cardinals had J.J. Watt and they had Hopkins. The second game, they did not. Both those players are going to be back for the playoffs. I'm going to go ahead and play spoiler, and I'm going to pick the Cards, even though they're not favored to win.
I'm also picking the Cards.
Woo! Look at that. All right.
Let's see. Is Hopkins going to play this week?
I was told that he's going to play. I mean, from what I've read.
Let's see. Young Gray.
I know J.J.'s back, which that'll boost that defense up.
Let's see. He is not available.
Oh, what about J.J.? Is he available?
JJ is up in the air.
Screw it, I'm still going to pick the Cardinals. Sometimes you just got to say, what the fuck, right? So.
Yeah, I'm picking the Cardinals.
All right, there you go. All right, guys. Well, that's all we got for you this week. Wanted to make it at least a half hour, and we did that. We're about 33 minutes in. So, guys, thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. I hope you're excited for the playoffs, as excited as we are. And I just hope that your team wins, unless you're the Philadelphia Eagles. Then no. But everybody else, have fun. Anyway, guys.
I say, from a Titans fan, just enjoy the bye week.
Yep, there you go.
No stress for me this weekend.
Yep, so Tannehill and Aaron Rodgers are going to be kicking their feet up and sipping margaritas this Saturday and Sunday.
Pretty much.
So, good for them. They earned it. So, all right, guys. We'll be back next week for show for the second round of the playoffs. The
divisional round.
The divisional round. And then we'll just go from there. All right, guys. Thank y'all so much once again for dropping by. And always remember, my little piglets, Colin Porkchop loves y'all the mostest. And
make your choices.
Especially when there's only 8 teams, right? And especially in the goddamn pick'em.
I don't know why I did a FaceTime.
Yeah, I was like, what are you doing FaceTime for? All right.
I was trying to hit mute real quick, and I hit this. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm just going to decline. All right. Bye, guys.